Welcome to The Drive, your commute-sized podcast powered by the West Des Moines Chamber of Commerce and ITA Group. In the time it takes to get across the metro, you'll get fresh insights from Iowa's top leaders, CEOs, innovators, and changemakers who are shaping the future of business. I'm your host, Catherine Harrington, and each week we'll explore leadership, loyalty, and the big ideas that keep our region moving forward. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this episode of The Drive. We have a very special guest today. So excited about this. Help me welcome Sean Willet, President and CEO of Lincoln Savings Bank. So, Sean, welcome.
Thank you so much. Great to be here.
I'm so excited that you're here.
Me too.
So, Lincoln Savings Bank is one of our highly valued President's Council members. So, thank you so much for that, for your investment in our city and our region. So,
thank you for all you do.
Well, we love to work hard on behalf of our amazing members. So,
thank you.
So tell us about Lincoln Savings Bank and your incredible bank that you have.
Yes, and yes. It is an incredible bank.
Yes, it is.
I appreciate that plug.
Yes.
We're 124 years young.
That's amazing.
So founded in 1902 in Berlin, Iowa, as the German Savings Bank, and two things happened basically at the precipice of World War I, the U.S. involvement in World War I. Anti-German sentiment was high.
Oh, yeah.
So the town of Berlin became Lincoln, Iowa, and we became the Lincoln Savings Bank. And so it's a neat story because there's, we do get questions from time to time. What's our connection to Abraham Lincoln?
Sure.
I'm assuming, without anyone having told me, is that there's nothing more American at that time than Abraham Lincoln.
Good old Abe. Honest Abe.
But if you do go to Lincoln, Iowa, and on the side of our branch there is a stone that kind of commemorates this. So,
that's amazing.
But it is cool.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah.
And I'm from the land of Lincoln, which is central Illinois. So I love Lincoln Savings Bank because it reminds me of my hometown.
Yes, and we've had folks from Lincoln, Nebraska,
yes.
also.
Yeah.
Like, what's your connection to Lincoln?
Yeah.
And so.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So tell us about your bank and all the great things you do and how you help your customers.
Yeah, that's great. It's a great question. So what really makes us unique is, on top of being 124 years old, going on 125, we operate 16 branch offices through central Iowa. And that runs as far north as Nashua, all the way down to Adel. I like to say we have a very small but mighty presence here in Des Moines. And really what makes us unique is back in 2014, 2015, serendipitously, we ended up becoming a bank to fintechs. Yeah. And so we received a cold call, a marketing inbound call from Square, Cash App.
Oh, yeah.
And we became the bank behind their offering. And so what we like to say is that we've been in that particular line of business before fintech was even in the dictionary. It was added in 2018.
That's cool.
At the height of all of our programs, we were the 39th or 40th largest bank in the United States based on number of accounts.
Wow.
So it's a pretty interesting fact. And what I think it really is, what makes it really cool is the fact that here we are with this small community bank in central Iowa, and we helped power some of the larger brands in fintech.
That's incredible. Do you advertise that very much, or I don't? That might be a best kept secret. Is that?
I don't know if it's a best kept secret. I mean, we do have a strong brand recognition. With partners out in the marketplace, so we're a known commodity for sure.
Yeah,
I think here, it's not something that you'd necessarily be aware of. It's not something that we promote as part of our brand here within our footprint. Our first focus is really just being a strong core community bank. That's just something that happens to separate us or differentiate us from other community banks.
It's so cool and so compelling.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah. And we continue to thrive in that business today.
Nice. Okay.
It is a focus of ours for sure.
Okay.
Because it allows us to be geographically unbound. But it, super cool.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
I love that. And that was just a cold call you got, like you said, right?
Yes. Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah. The director of marketing at the time didn't, it was like, what do I do with this?
Yeah.
They went through the decision-making process and decided, let's give this a whirl. At the time, they called it e-commerce banking.
Okay.
Right. So there was no word.
There was no word for,
and so then we kind of grew from there. Yeah.
That is so spectacular. Oh my gosh. Okay, so bread and butter, Central Iowa. Tell us how you serve your customers in Central Iowa.
That's a great question. We really focus on our consumers, our small businesses, our ag customers, which I think is really just the fabric of our communities across Central Iowa. Obviously Des Moines is a little bit different, but nonetheless, we do that day in, day out. I benefit from having a phenomenal team. Nice. It all starts with our people and what they do to meet our customers' needs on a day in, day out basis, and in many instances go above and beyond. And it's always encouraging to hear from customers the appreciation of someone on the team that delivered that above and beyond experience.
That's incredible. Well, Forbes named you Best Bank in Iowa, right?
Yes. Yep.
2 years running.
2 years running.
Which is huge.
It is. Yeah, we're super proud of that.
Yeah.
And then in some of our other communities, we're a finalist in Waterloo for this year. We will receive People's Choice Award for Des Moines for the second year in a row. So super excited about that.
Yeah.
And then also Dallas County last year.
Okay.
So what I always like about that is that to me is independent validation that whatever we're doing is resonating with customers. And so we take great pride in those accolades. And I always, ask the team to really celebrate those wins, right?
Yeah.
Stop for a moment, look at, you win more than you think, right? I think we're always our biggest critic.
Sure.
And so there's just other recognition in the marketplace that you guys are doing a great job.
Well, speaking of recognition, ITA Group is our presenting sponsor for the drive, and they're all about customer recognition and retainment, and then also employee recognition. So they feel really valued doing the great above and beyond work, like you were saying. Talk a little bit more about customer retention and even employee retention mechanisms that you all have.
Yeah, I would invert it a little bit, is to really say it starts with our people, right? And what is the culture that you have? What is the culture that you're building? I think when you build a culture that, and every business tries to do this and strives to do this, and we have work to do for sure, but where you have that customer centricity, where you are putting the customer first, what we look at is, and we say, okay, well, every bank, regardless of size, generally has the same products: checking accounts, savings accounts, debit cards, and the like. So at the end of the day, what really separates us? I mean, it could be a little bit, you pay a little bit more on an interest rate, or a little less on a loan. But the reality is it really starts with your people. And so how do your people connect? And so for us, it's fostering the environment that we want to attract great talent. We want to develop talent. Personally, I read every survey, every employee survey. We do Great Place to Work 2 years in a row. We've been recognized.
That's huge. Yeah.
And a lot of the data that comes from that is really insightful, right? So understanding, what are we doing well? What could we be better at? And so focusing in on that, making sure that we compensate people fairly for the work that they do, right? So to make sure that we take care of them so they can take care of our customers. And then on the customer side, we use technology. We are high tech, but we also say that we're also high touch. We want to make sure that we have very simple experiences for our customers where they feel a connection to us. And then the last piece of it is really what we look at is our trust, right? That to me is immutable. And so how do you take all of that together and make customers feel that, bring them in the door, and then how do they feel taken care of on a go-forward basis, right? So if they're looking to grow their business, if they're looking for a home, if they're looking for saving for college, et cetera, their business legacy, their family legacy, we can provide that all through the bank. So we can deliver the One Lincoln experience.
Amazing. I love it. And you do have so many neat products. I love what you do. So you promote your small business support, and you, on your website, you mentioned a loan of up to $100,000, which that's a lot of money for a small business. Can you talk a little bit about that? Small businesses is the lifeblood of the chamber, so I'd love to hear more about that.
I think not only the chamber, but certainly the U.S.
and
economy.
the USA economy. Exactly.
That's an area, it's funny. I'm going to be a little self-critical. I think that's an area we could be better.
Okay.
If we look at non-bank financials or fintechs, especially those focused on small businesses, they do a great job in terms of what are the basic needs of a small business?
Yeah.
It's access to capital to grow their business, right?
Yeah.
And if you look at Cabbage, if you look at some, On Deck and the like, it's a very easy process that you go through and you can secure funds for your business in a relatively short amount of time.
Yeah.
We're working towards that. One of the benefits of having LSBX is we can learn
from them.
And so we bring those lessons from that business and our partners and say, okay, how do we take those experiences and make a better experience for our customer?
Nice.
The other areas that we're also adding tools to our digital platform would be around accounts payable, accounts receivable, right? Businesses, they want to get paid and they want to get paid quickly. We want to help facilitate that. So we're building all of those tools into our digital banking platform.
Ooh.
In addition to access to capital to grow your business.
Love that. Ooh, that sounds really, really interesting. Okay. Like that a lot. So I also noticed you have a foundation.
We do.
Tell us about that.
That really just goes to the heart of our core values and who our stakeholders are, right? So we look at, as we create long-term value, it is to our communities, it's to our employees, as well as our shareholders, but certainly our communities and our folks do just a phenomenal job at giving back.
Nice.
And that's just another vehicle in which we can give back to the charities that are so important to the social fabric and welfare fabric of our communities.
Is that a 501c3 then? Oh, that's amazing.
It is, yeah.
Are you? What are your pillars and your giving guidelines for that, or sort of?
Yeah, that's you're gonna stress my knowledge there, but it's that to me we taking a step back. It really the giving is germane to what is the purpose? What are we giving for? Whether it's food banks, whether it's education assistance and the like, but it really has to be focused on the community itself.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a broad.
It is
kind of a broad vision, mission, which is nice because some organizations we will only fund these two things, and it's more niche oriented. But it sounds like you have a broad. You have a broad platform there.
It's broad, and I would say that the foundation's board does a really nice job at curating opportunities for us to take a look at, but also more importantly, decisioning opportunities, right? So is it really going to have a meaningful impact or not? Is this something that really fits with our objectives and our values? And so everyone is a deserving applicant, but when you start to rank order them, you really want to make sure that that donation is impactful.
Do you would you encourage people to apply then for that? Is there maybe an application online?
Yep,
or okay,
100%.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. We'll look into that. I represent a lot of nonprofits and arts organizations, and so
we're always looking for.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, that's lovely. Love that a lot. So congratulations on your 2 new board members. Rod Foster, I know.
Yes.
He was with RSM for
Yep.
many years. I know Rod pretty well. He knows my ex-husband, because he worked there for many. So congrats on your 2 board members. That's
Thank you.
wonderful. It's
Yes.
a great
Yeah.
team that you have on your board. And then you also have a Des Moines board too. So tell us about the Des Moines board, which Paul Rottenberg and a lot of great people on that.
Yeah, that's, and
It's
that's,
neat.
yes. We probably underutilize our Des Moines advisory board. Not
Okay.
probably, we definitely do.
Okay.
We've taken a step back and said, okay, how do we make this beneficial, not only for us, but also for our Des Moines advisory board members? And how do we think through who do we have on the board and what are we asking of them, right? And then how do we use that as a vehicle to demonstrate value to the marketplace, right? We've talked about there's opportunities for us to bring in subject matter experts on different topics, right? And how do we use that really just as a platform to educate, not necessarily business development, but just what are we putting out there, right? I believe in karma.
Yeah.
And so if we're putting something out of value and then people start to associate that value with us, then they can start to think about us in terms of these are people I trust with my business, with my personal finances, et cetera. And so more to come on the Des Moines advisory board.
Yeah. It's a who's who list for sure.
Yes.
David Clark.
But again, what are we asking of them? And we also want to be respectful of their time and not have it be like a check the box, like, oh goodness, I have this meeting tonight. Yeah, there'll be some refreshments, but at the end of the day, I didn't get anything out of it. They didn't, there's no reciprocation.
Very, very cool. You all do so many great things. So you're not from Des Moines.
I am not.
Tell us about your journey to this incredible role that you're leading. Yeah.
So,
your background is really impressive.
So, it's funny because as we were discussing this prior to coming on. So I'm originally from Western New York. So Buffalo, grew up in the city of Buffalo. Buffalo is similar in size to Des Moines, except grittier. And when I say gritty, I mean, it's not that the people of Des Moines are not tough people. What I'm saying is that Buffalo is it was manufacturing based.
Yeah, yeah.
And so Des Moines is beautiful in comparison, right? And hopefully no one from Buffalo is listening to this because people from Buffalo take things personal. But just everything here is clean, it's modern. Des Moines is a professional city, professionally centered, whereas Buffalo was a manufacturing base for so many years. And then ultimately, steel making, car manufacturing left a massive hole in the city. When I was growing up, the city of Buffalo's population was over 600,000 in the city limits itself. It is now less than, I think Juneau, Alaska is bigger than the city of Buffalo. It's around 200. Buffalo, I think, is around 40,000 people.
Wow. I bet that chamber has a lot of work to do.
Yeah, the Buffalo Niagara Partnership does a great job.
They try really hard.
But
wow.
It's a lot of work. And I think the city is still trying to figure out what's our identity post manufacturing. If you look at cities like Cleveland, if you look at Pittsburgh, they've kind of figured out what's next and moved forward. Buffalo, it's the early innings still, I think, of what's next. There's a very strong medical corridor there. So there are opportunities. There is obviously, from a logistics perspective, being situated at the Canadian border, there's opportunities there. But so a long way of saying, that's my background. Ultimately, the majority of my career I spent in New York City. So I'm not a community banker by trade. I grew up at large institutional banks. And then in 2017, returned back to Western New York, took a job with a community bank based in Warsaw, New York, and our footprint was Buffalo, Rochester would be the recognizable cities. spent about 7 years there, and then I was fortunate enough to participate in the national search for this role.
Nice.
And they ended up picking me.
Here you are.
So here I am. So
Welcome to Des Moines.
Ton of similarities between growing up in Western New York and Central Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
So I always ask people, like, when you hear New York, what do you think? And everybody just thinks of New York City, and I said, no, like we live in a German farming community. We live on gravel. Like, the only difference is I made the mistake of saying this when I first got here. I said the only difference is you have no trees here. And so then this became a running joke.
Okay.
And so we're kind of doing branch tours and visits, and driving along with one of our my teammates. Oh, look, there's trees. There's trees. And then I get photos from people's backyards of, hey, I have trees. I will tell you, it is not of the same scale. So the farmland here is obviously of a massive and impressive scale. It's puny in comparison in New York. New York definitely has more trees. So I'm going to stand by that.
You're going to stand by that.
I'm standing by that. But people are very similar. Just good people, good hardworking people, salt of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
It's been great.
What has surprised you about this area since you've moved here?
I will tell you, people's, for lack of a better term, just education. Like, the educational system in Iowa is incredibly impressive. When coming out here and kind of doing the due diligence and meeting folks and the like Waterloo has, the high school offers an international baccalaureate, right? And that was driven by John Deere to attract workforce.
Nice.
There are, I think, a handful, and I don't think there's any in New York State, where you can get an international baccalaureate as a high school diploma.
Interesting.
So the quality of the public education here is phenomenal. And I think that really translates into the workforce for sure.
Yeah.
And then if we look at our post-secondary schools, the state universities do a fantastic job. Talking about Rod is a incredibly passionate accountant. And if you play a game of name a person, he'll tell you whether or not they were an famous person, successful person. And he encourages, high school students looking for a vocation to really consider accounting. Yeah. The number one accounting school in the United States in terms of pass rate on the CPA exam is the University of Northern Iowa.
Oh, interesting.
So there's all these hidden. University of Iowa and Iowa State also do fantastic work, right? So there's just a lot relative to education, certainly the community, things to do. Now, I have children that play ice hockey, and so there is a lack of ice hockey.
Are you at the Recplex very much, the Mid-American Energy Recplex?
Yeah.
Okay,
My daughter was out there skating.
Good.
But as far as youth hockey goes, there's not a lot. Now, hopefully that changes, and I think it will over time. Yeah. It's frustrating because the weather here is very similar to Minnesota. But that being said, I don't think a lot of folks realize that some of the best players in the United States come through Iowa. With having 5 USHL teams that are based in the state of Iowa, including the Des Moines Buccaneers here in Des Moines.
We love the Buccaneers, yeah.
Yeah, we're big Waterloo Blackhawk fans, so we're fine with the Bucks, but we support the Waterloo Blackhawks.
What's a huge goal that you have for Lincoln Savings Bank? What's one big goal that you have for the bank? You've talked about a lot of things. You are excited to advance and continue advancing, but what's maybe your
our big goal, and really what brought me to the bank was the fact that we lost our way a little bit. And the way that I tell the story is that we lost discipline in some key areas, and we're restoring that discipline. And it's it's one day better every day. Keep chopping wood, if you will. But for me, it's really about now how do we kind of move out of that triage and into real growth, right? Making sure that our business community here in Des Moines knows who we are, knows that I have a phenomenal team that can help them with their business needs and banking needs, and then certainly strengthening everything that we do between Waterloo and here in Adel and in Nashua. We need to do a better job at delivering the full bank to our customers. We have wealth management, we have trust. And so how do we take all of that and say, we can help you with your entire financial life, not just your specific banking needs?
Yeah. I've always admired Lincoln Savings Bank. I have been a fan of your bank for a long time and really familiar even through your rebrand when Lincoln got a brand refresh many years ago. And so it's just neat to see you in this role and how the bank has really been elevated. So Sean, you and your leadership team and your whole team have been doing an amazing job. So
thank you.
I'm just so honored to know you. Welcome to Des Moines. We're so happy that you're here, and congratulations on all your success. So
thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
All right. Likewise.
Thank you all for watching this amazing or listening to this amazing episode of The Drive. And thank you for being a West Des Moines Chamber member. We appreciate you and have a wonderful West Des Moines day. Love you.